Welcome to the Voices of America. We are trying to teach everyone in the world what the truth is of our world, and it's not nice, and we need to get united. We have an organization called the Pilgrim Society, and they are trying to destroy humanity. And it's not a conspiracy theory. We've shown it. Tonight's topic, I really wanted to delve into some scary things that we're seeing right here in Michigan about the schooling situation.
Free speech has been squelched all over the world. It is so bad in America that we know exactly who paid how many billions of dollars to write programs to stop those on the middle ground, or those who might happen to be a Republican or a conservative, for heaven's sakes. These programs are actually written against them. And so we know all of these things are in place. We know that Trump is fighting the war. But now, at any moment, we expect that the whole system will come all tumbling down.
I'm watching very closely in Michigan what's going to happen at the beginning of the school year, because in the summer, all of us were asleep. We knew that this wasn't going to be an easy way to get started schools with social engineering and face masks, and we knew it was going to be a mess, but it wasn't really anything we could say because we hadn't seen exactly how the schools were going to do it. So the schools have started to roll out their plans, and in Michigan we see basically that you get to choose to be in school, but if you're in school, it's a very limited situation with the children, and if that's not your option, you have to go online. And that's not a good option for your child either, because they're going to be left alone in their rooms all day long with this indoctrination material. And here's the problem. We said, of course, we're pointing people into homeschooling. And we said in Michigan, it's very easy. You just need to notify the state. And we assumed that this was done the same way it was maybe 8 years ago. We said, well, let's go find out what they require for homeschooling. And that we were shocked to find out what is required to do homeschooling in Michigan. And that's what I want you also to talk about. Okay?
Shocked me, that's for sure. I looked at it. I was a superintendent, and I was able to write things onto people's transcripts and give them coursework. And I had the end of coursework tests. And so I was able to do all kinds of things. And I was able to bend the rules. I was able to do what we wrote the first white paper. I was part of the team that wrote the first white paper on seat time waivers. What that means is your child doesn't have to come to a brick and mortar school, that they can, in fact, get online. They don't have to sit at a desk for X number of hours. They don't have to have X number of hours prescribed. And anyway, they found out later with interactive computer classes that they could make you spend that much time looking at the screen because it's all timed and it's interactive. So what we found out was that unfortunately it wasn't good for the really bright children or the children at the other end. So the ones who had difficulty in special education had trouble online. Those who were really smart, it drove them crazy.
When we went to look to see what the requirements were for homeschooling in this state, we were shocked to find out there are no standards at all. In fact, you, the parent, will decide what to do. Now that's good, because if you are a creator, educator, and you know what you're doing, oh my gosh, this is going to be a great, or even an enthusiastic parent. But that's not everybody out there. And they will permit parents just to sign off on their child's education by simply signing off that, yeah, everything's complete. And then you make your own diploma, and that's the diploma your child gets in that homeschooling situation. There are no standards. And then if you think about what's happening with the online teaching from public schools, that's going to be straight indoctrination right into your child's bedroom or wherever their computer is. Then we found out that you can't sign off on the papers if you don't have a bachelor's degree. At least they made one criteria that you have to have a bachelor's degree. So if you are from maybe a working family where you don't have a parent with a bachelor's degree, the parent can't sign off on this. I don't know, maybe you can get a teacher who does have it or somebody with a BS to sign off. There are no standards. This is shocking. What we are looking at here is the globalists are taking down our total system of education in America, because education is no longer going to be needed in the new world order. Why would it be? We're just being harvested by these people.
You are absolutely right, Betsy. We are being held in our houses as self-willed hostages. We are in house arrest. Our children are now incarcerated in our homes, and you can't go to school anymore. Now, guess what? Bill and Melinda Gates went to every state in the union. I already knew this. I helped spend their $70 million in this state to create what was called the virtual university. And they were canned courses. But they have now one in Michigan, one virtual school. It's for everyone, K through PhD, including into professional training. So you go online, you go to one little database created by Bill and Melinda Gates, and you sign on and pay exorbitant prices for those courses under the auspices that there's also a teacher somewhere that's going to help you if you need help. That's neither here nor there. I've now seen what is offered everywhere. Homeschooling courses that are decent, they're all filled up. The charter schools have been limited in this state and many others to not take as many students as you would expect that they could online. They should be able to take thousands of students, but no, they were limited. I was in charge of almost all of the strict discipline academies in Wayne County. When those all folded, every school had to have a backup, and so they went to this online state thing provided by Bill and Melinda Gates. And then it became a system, and then it said, we don't care about your curriculum in your state. If you want any federal money, you're going to join the core curriculum, and you're going to all bow down. These big companies got centralized control of everyone's education that can be done online at home, and yet they still charge you a ton of money. The schools are still making $7,000 to $10,000 a year per student to simply sign you up for courses. It takes one little person to do it. Thousands of dollars when any parent can do this through homeschooling.
I know there are a lot of terms there that, homeschooling versus online. When we're talking about homeschooling, we're talking about you as a parent being the teacher, working with your child like in a physical way, teaching in that way. Now, you might go to your computer and access things online, but you don't have your child sitting in front of a computer all day doing the coursework. So homeschooling is one thing, but online education that's done in the home is something different. So just to clarify that. But here's the problem. When we put all of our education online, then, and it's controlled by Bill Gates, that is going to be K through PhD, total indoctrination. That also gives them an opportunity to take their revisionist history and continue to revise it. Because remember, the reason that we're in this situation is that the Pilgrim Society has gone to great lengths to change our history books. And so we didn't really know that we hadn't won the American Revolution the way we thought we did, because our history books don't teach us that. So imagine now that Bill Gates has control of total education online in that manner. The other thing is once they get you online, then they totally control you, because that's when the social engineering and the social justice warrior stuff that we see really comes out into the curriculum. We're seeing the total destruction of the education system in America right in front of our eyes. And it may be happening in your country too. But let's go back, because here's another shocking thing we found. So in the public school districts here in Michigan, now they exited all the students out of the schools. Now to get back in, whether you want to do in school or online, you have to provide your updated vaccination records.
Which is a horrible thing, because probably that will get them set, and they'll do it electronically just for you to get in, and then that'll be set for when the new vaccine comes, and then your child probably can't go to face-to-face school if you don't have the vaccine.
If you are in face-to-face school and they see you're not vaccinated, you'll have to be to get back in, or they will keep your child if you don't, and they'll send them to Child Protective Services. This is a new world here, and what they can do to your children and remove you because of a pandemic. You may not see your children again if you put them in these public schools.
And so now what we seem to see is that they're trying to force everyone onto online. They have to pay money, your tax dollars, to a Bill Gates rewritten program. The courses are canned, they don't work, and they bore people. And when you have to sign up for 6 courses in one semester, it drives you insane. So the guy who's created the pandemic, Bill Gates, before that, years ago, set this up so that when the pandemic came, we would all be chased by the wolf back into the chicken coop, and there we're going to sit at our computers and bow to the great Bill Gates. That's the way I see it, and that's a really disgusting picture.
Here's the thing. That's what's on the dark side of the abyss, people. And this is why we need to vote straight red in America on November 3rd. And every American, you need to sit here and listen to me, because the rest of the world is counting on us. You got to get up, you got to vote. And between now and then, you've got to get as many people as you can on board. But if Trump wins, that's not the way things are going to work out, the way we just described. Oh my gosh, we're going to have a renaissance in education like you can't imagine. I'm so excited, Thomas, because for the first time, we can give parents the vouchers, or however that comes out as a tax credit, direct money. And parents will be able to use these vouchers to maybe hire a teacher collectively in a small community in microschooling, or they can send their children to private or religious school, or maybe the public schools will finally get it. The teachers union is going to have a big red pill, because there are so many people out here that are going to be doing homeschooling, and they have a lot of reasons that are so much deeper than the teachers union can even fathom, that when they come back to school, they're not going to have a customer.